Hello YouTube! Today I'm bringing you another live play Pot Limit Omaha video, and I'm going to be discussing the situations that come up as well as demonstrating a little bit of my methodology. So I flop 8-high flush, lived in pot, in a bet. And there's really no reason to think that my opponent is bluffing here. If he does have what he's representing, I'm dead. I think for sure I should bet this hand after the small blind checks. Probably if he had the flush, he would bet it. So I'm against basically a random hand at that point. And one thing I'd like to do is, after I lose a hand, if I get something sort of marginal, the next hand, like 10-9-8-5 here in the small blind, probably I would normally complete this hand. But I like to play just a little bit tighter if I've just lost a hand, if I'm sort of reeling from the loss, because you don't want to just start sort of throwing good money after bad. So one thing I like to do while I'm sitting at the table, you'll note I'm only playing one table. And I'll play more on occasion. I've even played up to 24 short-handed tables of PLO. But I like to play one table a lot because it allows me to observe my opponents carefully and to adapt against them. A lot of people, they're doing too many things at once, so they're not really focusing on what's happening at the poker table, and this impacts the decisions they make negatively. Another thing I like to do is I spend a lot of time visualizing hands, going back through the hand history, and then I look at showdown hands, and I'll look at one of them. I'll look at 4-4. Excuse me. I'll look at, so Fripoul here must be, yeah, French, Belgium. Fripoul 7-2. So he has 4-4-8-5, all different suits. So a couple limpers, and he's on the big blind. I would check this hand. It is connected, but you have no suit and low cards, and even a pair in your hand, and a low pair at that. So I like his check. And here you should bet with a set and a gut shot. Very strong hand. Bet and just get it in. If you're raised, you're with only 4 SPR. So pretty straightforward this hand, right? Very strong hand. But aces in the big blind. Imagine I'll raise this hand to any action. Short stack as I am. It's nice being in position against senior FMD. You got to think about what sort of hands is he raising from the small blind. Probably I will get it in here to any action. Because there's only one bet left, the board's a little bit disconnected. I'm willing to take a chance on my aces. Could be the best hand. Should have at least 20% equity almost all the time, right? And I'll be a favorite some of the time, or flipping some of the time. Dry, sort of disconnected board. So I like to, okay, deuce, deuce, Jack 10. I also, you want to make sure the people are still there, right? Because you're not just considering the situations academically in order to vicariously experience poker. You're hoping to get inside their mind, right? So 2-2 Jack 10 double suited in the big blind, and I would check here, which he does. Check again on the flop. You have nothing. Fold to any bet. Here, 2-1 with 6 nutouts. You really can't give much value to the king or 8 of spades. I would fold. There's 44 cards that he knows about. He's got no spades. So it's 6-38, but 6.5 to 1. You're not going to get very much action if the king comes. Probably, maybe you'll get one bet if they check call with like aces up or something. This guy could still raise. So here, with just Jack 10, you should fold, but he calls. And he rivers the nuts. Life is great. And he raises all in, or min raises. Probably I would raise all in, although I don't think it matters too much. But my thinking is simply, if they're gonna call, they're gonna call. And he pots it, and he calls with ace queen. So, I didn't really expect the river to go down like that, but that's how it went down. So here, Queen Jack, 6-7, double suited. And I don't think you should flat in position here. With the double 2 cluster, it's a very weak hand. You have very little connectivity. Your suits are non-nut. You do have position. You are double suited. But I think this call is a slight loser. Maybe if you were intimately familiar with the cutoffs game, then maybe you could show a profit here. But I think that's a little optimistic. And he flops very good, top 2, on a very dry board. Pretty much getting it in here to any action, betting if they check. And on this board, I like a small bet from 24 to 32 cents with Jack 7. He checks, which is really, really strange. Surely he's slow playing here, but this is not the sort of situation where you want to slow play. Your hand is easily beaten by anything above an 8 or a deuce. As well, you can get some action now maybe from one pair because the board is so dry. And you don't want to just check and give your opponents a free chance to draw out on you. So he should bet here probably 24 to 33 cents or so. And he should raise the turn, but raise bigger. Right here, he's giving his opponent 7-1. So any sort of open-ended has the odds, to say nothing of an inside wrap or a stronger draw. And it's going to be a lot easier to get action from 2-pair on the turn, right? Smaller 2-pair than it will be on the river. If a straight card comes, now you're not going to be comfortable. And you see he checks it. Although he did get a call from a gut shot, so who knows. Pretty nice odds here, 9-1. I'm going to fold it anyway. It's not really a strong hand. King 5, 4, 9. The second best suit, out of position. You are getting pretty good odds, so who knows? Maybe it is profitable to call slightly. 7, 7, 9, 8. One suit. And I don't like calling here out of position with bad relative position as well. You do get some value from the loose limper, whose hand is certainly likely to be less flop-tastic than yours. This guy's a very passive raiser, which isn't really the end of the world. He's less likely to dominate you. And your hand is very connected, but I think it's slightly too loose. An interesting situation with bottom set, top two pair on a very straight friendly board. I'm leaning towards check and fold here. It's very likely that somebody flopped a straight, or at least it's likely. More than 50% probability, especially when you take into account the effect of removal of your 7, 7, 8, 9. Although this does take away from some Jack 10, 9, Jack 10, 8 combos. But probably check and fold. You're less than 2 to 1 to fill up. Not sure exactly how likely you are to fill up by the river. That'll be something you'll have to investigate. He opts to pot it, which I guess is reasonable. He's got a set, so could be good. Maybe. And doing very good. Interesting that the Desperado here decided to stack off on that flop. Maybe this is his tendency. He doesn't lay down good hands pre-flop, post-flop. You know, I've got to catch up on all the hands I missed when I was catching up on all the hands I missed. So, it's such a small pot, I won't even bother. Alright, let's take a look at these queens. Queen, queen, ace 10, rainbow. It's between call like he did or ISO raise to like 20 cents would be nice too. That call is fine. This is sort of interesting here. Just call again. You know, top set. A lot of players in the pot, a lot of money in the pot. I'm just potting here myself. He slow plays. Kings in position on a tight raiser. I'm going to fold. I like a bet here, of course, with 3 queens, but I would bet maybe a little bigger on this very draw-heavy board. And river check is all right. Maybe you could bet too. Well, that's been my live play video. So I hope you enjoyed it. And please let me know what you think in the comments. Have a great day.